Hello, my beautiful and wonderful people. You're welcome to my channel, A Home of Riches. My regard and my greetings to you. If you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe and thank you for subscribing. Today's gist is deep, controversial, and a little emotional. We are diving into the ongoing saga involving 2Face Idibia, his ex-wife Annie Idibia, and his new wife, Edo State lawmaker Natasha Osawaru. There has been a lot of talk about his recent podcast interview with media personality Nedu, and honestly, it's a lot to unpack. So grab your popcorn because we are going to talk about double standards, emotional manipulation, regret, and control in relationship using Two-Faced love life as our case study. In the now viral podcast episode with Nedu, the same platform known for men speaking their unfiltered truths and boldly said what he has always stood on. It is impossible, yes, impossible, for a man to sexually be with only one woman. He wasn't mixing words. He was relaxed, confident, and even laughed it off like universal truth. Now, this isn't the first time he said something like this. Remember that episode of Young, Famous, and Africa? He made that same, statement with Annie sitting right next to him. Her face said it all: embarrassment, pain, disbelief. But still, Two-Face stood on his words. No apologies, no empathy, just vibes. You could literally see Annie's awkward smiles, swallowed pride, and a wife holding back public tears. But this time, it hit differently because now Two-Face is married to Natasha Osawaru, an Edo State lawmaker. And after this podcast, boom, he made a sudden public apologies. Yes, Two-Face came online with an apology to Natasha, his new wife. The man was visibly shaky, uncomfortable, and clearly not his usual composed self. Some people are even saying he looked like someone under pressure or being forced to apologize. Why is that apology so important? Because he never apologized to Annie publicly, not even when he had kids outside their marriage, not when he embarrassed her on camera, not when he saw, she cried in interview, not when the internet dragged her for being too emotional. But now with Natasha, just one public statement and he's apologizing immediately. That contrast is loud. Just listen to what he said.
I really fucked up what I said. I know I'm going to get cancelled. I'm going to get cancelled for this. I know I'm going to pay the price, heavy price. I'm going to face the consequences. I said what I said. I don't know whether I want people to understand my understanding. And I didn't say appropriately. There's no excuse for I own up to that. I own up to the fact that I fucked about what I said.
Did you watch that video? It was given, "I have been summoned by the queen," not "I am truly sorry." He was looking shaky, stumbling over his words, clearly uncomfortable. It didn't feel like it came from a place of personal conviction. It felt more like damage control. Those, go and delete that thing from social media kind of situation. Now, let's rewind a bit. Annie Idibia, that woman really went through it. She was there before the fame peaked. She stuck with him while he was out there sowing seed literally with multiple women. She bore the shame. She bore the headline. She stood by him despite the hurt. And even after all that, when he went on national TV and made statements like that, he didn't see a need to defend her feelings. No apologies, no public recognition of how that might, have broken her. He moved like a man who knew she would always be there, and he was loyal, but maybe too loyal. Some people might often label her as troublesome, dramatic, or too emotional, but what if Annie was just reacting to constant disrespect? Two-Face said he was living in bondage during his marriage to Annie. That's a heavy statement, but you have to ask yourself, what led to that feeling? Was Annie the problem? Maybe the real truth is he was the one causing the fire and crying for rescue. Annie wasn't the problem. His infidelity and disregard were. When you push someone enough, they will react. Annie reacted out of pain, betrayal, and exhaustion. Two-Face wasn't living in bondage. He was living in guilt. And the woman who kept crying to fight for the relationship was the one he kept hurting. The truth has to be said. Annie may have been reacting to years of emotional neglect, disrespect, cheating, fathering multiple children outside marriage, and making public statements that disregard her feelings. If you keep hurting someone and they cry out or react, should you blame them entirely? Now with Natasha, things look different. After one episode where 2Face said what he's always said, he see a complete turnaround. He apologized quickly and respectfully, like a man who has been checked. Let's be honest here, it's giving control. It's giving high-profile woman who will not take nonsense. She's probably not playing the passive role. She might be the kind of woman who set boundaries, expect public accountability, and makes it clear that respect is non-negotiable. And 2Face, well, he's now adjusting. Some people said that Natasha has 2Face on a tight leash, that he respects her more, that he knows he can't mess around with her the way he did with Annie. She's a lawmaker, a politician. She's not in the entertainment space. She doesn't play that emotional roller coaster game. She might not tolerate that same class. And maybe, just maybe, 2Face knows this. But then again, if you respect and fear one woman more than the other, what does that say about your past relationship? Was Annie disrespect because she tolerated too much? Let me know in the comment section. Men like 2Face often get away with a lot in relationship because society allowed them to. When Annie cried, she was mocked. When she stayed, she was called desperate. When she spoke out, she was told to calm down. But now Natasha stepped into the picture and the man is making apology video. Like, wow, why do some women, have to demand respect while others simply receive it without asking? It shows how much a man chooses who he wants to respect. Respect is not automatic. It's often reserved for the woman they feel consequences from. When a man respects you or fear losing you, he behaves differently. And this shift in behavior shows how much control Natasha might have in this marriage. It also raises the question, why wasn't Annie worth that same level of respect and accountability? Is it because she was too emotionally invested, too forgiving, or because she didn't hold political weight? The big question is, has 2Face really changed? Some people believe this new marriage will tame him. Others say it's only a matter of time before old habits will resurface. Let's be real, his track record is loud. And no matter how strong Natasha is, if 2Face hasn't changed from the inside, no woman will change him. If anything, this new dynamic might make him feel like he is in another kind of bondage. Only this time, he's not emotional, it's political, it's strategic, it's reputation management. So will Natasha fix 2Face, or will 2Face eventually rebel again like he did with Annie? Let's just hope that 2Face will not fall back into his old pattern and that Natasha will really be the one to keep him in line. The apology was a start, but it looks more like a PR than remorse. If he feels controlled now, then sooner or later, that might be a different kind of bondage for him, one sealed with consequences and political influence. And at the end of the day, 2Face might not be ready for this kind of marriage where you held him accountable. He was used to being worshipped. Now he's being managed. And whether this ends in harmony or a new kind of class, one thing is certain: Natasha isn't Annie, and 2Face knows it. You see, 2Face is undeniably a music legend. We all will respect his artistry. But when it comes to relationship, this whole saga, shows us that growth is a choice. And let's not forget, there are children involved from different women. Annie's children, the others, and now possibly the new one with Natasha. How does all this back and forth affect them? Do they get confused about love, respect, and relationship? We don't talk about this enough. But when a man moves from one woman to the next without taking full accountability, the kids watch, they absorb, they learn, and the cycle continues. So guys, what do you think? Was Annie truly the problem, or was she just reacting to 2Face behavior? Do you think Natasha is controlling 2Face, or is he finally learning how to treat a woman with respect? Drop your thought in the comment section. Okay, my people, this is the much you take on this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And as we come to the end of this video, kindly subscribe to my channel, like, share, and leave your comments in the comment section. I will see you in my next video. But before then, don't forget to stay safe, remain kind, and mind your mental health. Bye, and remain blessed.